Me who you are.
I'm Dave Giorgi,
and
been like third generation family here.
yeah,
Grandfather settled on the south end of the valley and
Mason Valley.
of Mason
Yeah.
Valley and got his start raising potatoes and
Oh, okay.
bought a little ranch for himself and away he went. So
Yep. And then your dad took over the ranch.
your dad and uncles, yes.
Yeah.
So it's
And your dad's name in
it's Baldo.
Giorgi,
Yeah.
and he lives in Antelope Valley. Right?
Topaz. He's
Topaz.
the last of the children from my grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Alive now, so
But he's actually been actively in the ranching business
for-
up
yeah,
until
from day
just
one.
recently, right?
Well, he still is.
He's still out there.
Yeah, he does all the irrigating and cattle watching.
Yep.
So he won't give it up.
Yeah. So you got a ranch right up the road here
Just
off of
down-
95.
Yes, down past the
The
fairgrounds.
lazy.
G Lazy B.
Lazy B Ranch, and you get in here. We're at Silverado Supply, place where guys like you come out quite a bit, but it's really part of this valley, really, the
Oh, yes,
agricultural and the guys that provide stuff here. So,
Yeah, it's one of the only store for livestock
right.
feeds and what have you.
So if you're in the ranching business, you know Silverado.
we know our way around here.
Anyway, yeah. So you've kind of followed us. Of course, you're familiar with
yes.
Pumpkin Hollow. You're one of our neighbors out there. And then recently, a couple of years back, we started the Yerington Land Bill, which I think you followed pretty
Yes.
closely. And then, of course, even more recently, we had an offer we couldn't refuse that we get a wilderness component to be part of that.
Oh,
process.
yes.
And so at this point, the county has worked for a couple of months trying to figure out what to do with that. And they've come up with a compromise proposal to include about 47,000 acres on top of that mountain. You must be familiar with that South Pine Grove Hills.
Oh, yes, yeah. We've explored, go cut Christmas trees over
Right,
there.
right.
So, yeah, no, it's a must-see here.
Yeah, how about
There's-
Walker River? Do you ever fish
we
or hunt
fished
down
that
there?
years ago, but I haven't
Yeah.
fished there in a long time.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
one of the things that came out of this evaluation that we did was we determined that there were areas on the Walker River that were in the proposals a couple of years ago that were really sensitive issues because a lot of local folks use that area year after year after year.
Oh, yeah.
And so what came out of the recommendation that was developed was that none of that be included in any proposal. We looked at all the grazing allotments.
Oh, yeah.
The recommendation now is that the grazers get to continue to graze just as they do today, regardless of whether it's wilderness. Were you aware of that, or did you?
No, that's a big plus. 'Cause
Right.
That was the biggest thing, is just cutting the livestock
Right,
out of it. That was the hurt. They're in a world of hurt trying to find places to feed cattle.
right. So there's the Flying M Ranch, Conway allotment, which is Todd Sharani. And then Freddie Fullstone runs his sheep up on top of the mountain. So what the county is recommending is that all those grazing rights be retained, regardless of what decision or what boundary is made. So we're trying to communicate that to people and just trying to get their see if they were aware that that was part of the deal.
If it goes through, that'd be a big plus.
Right.
I think your biggest opponents, we're the ranching people.
Right.
Be able, if they were going to lose all
Right.
that
Right.
grazing area.
Do you have? Do you or your family have grazing allotments?
No, we just got private land.
You just have
up
strictly
there
private
in
land.
California,
So, yeah. So even in California, you're strictly on private land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just pity those poor people. At their mercy of how the cattle they can put on there. And
Yeah.
But then something like this goes through and they get it yanked out from under them.
Right.
That'd be a big hurt.
Right.
But if they're going to leave it in, though, that's going to help them
Yeah.
out.
So do you? I mean, what's being proposed is a compromise that says we can come up with a smaller area that makes. At least that's what the people who have put it together propose. That makes more sense.
Oh, yeah.
All the roads stay in place.
That's the biggest thing, letting people explore out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of country out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of history that went out through
Right,
there.
right.
But when you start shutting that off to
Yeah.
people, you know, they kind of get a little irritated.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we're trying to emphasize to people is that Nye Canyon Road. I don't know if you're
Oh,
familiar.
yeah, yeah.
Nye Canyon is not included. All the roads along the Sweetwater 338 highway there,
They're still all over.
county is recommending that those be left out because they're concerned about fire and sage grouse.
Oh,
out there.
yes,
You follow the sage
The
grouse thing,
sage grouse, the crazy chicken.
Yeah. Well, one of the key issues out there is the sage grouse. If they
oh, yes.
listed on the endangered species list,
Yes.
a lot of people the ranchers would be really concerned because it would have some serious
Oh,
impacts.
there's a lot of grazing, livestock grazing
Right.
out there, yes.
And, you know, what we're trying to emphasize to people is that even if you have private land,
Yes.
and the Endangered Species Act does not respect private land boundaries. If there's birds on your private land,
No cows.
you have some challenges,
Yes,
yeah. You could have
No
that. So one of
livestock.
the objectives the county said was we've also got to figure out what to do with sage grouse. And so that was part of the recommendation is that some of that area stay out of wilderness.
Stay out of it,
So they can manage the pinyon juniper that's expanded in that area.
Oh, yes,
And reduce that to improve the sage grouse habitat. So I'm trying to see, I assume people would think that's a good thing,
Oh,
maybe?
oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, if they talk to people, you know, more than anything, you know,
Right.
that's the biggest, you know, just
Right.
go in there and start taking land from them. But, you know, talking to people eye to eye, you know, goes a long way.
Well, I
You
think,
know, you know,
yeah, no, I
things can be
agree.
worked out. You know?
That was one of the things I said, you gotta go talk to people. And the people that are most affected,
Yeah.
and most interested, and I think we commissioned a study that they talked to over 35 different individuals and organizations to say, what are your concerns and interests in that area? And they met with them one-on-one. And
the
so
best
there
thing,
was a
yeah.
lot of talk. Now, you can't talk to 10,000 people in a short
Oh,
time.
no.
But the objective was to try to get to people that had a lot of vested interest and had spent a lot of time being interested in that area. So obviously the ranchers that get up there, the recreationalists.
Oh, yes.
All of the roads would be left in this proposal based on the recommendation by the county. So I think that's something that, would you say it's not generally known that that's part of the
Well,
deal?
that's it. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus.
Right,
Help everybody.
right, right.
It's little stuff like that.
Yeah.
It helps out.
Yeah. So what do you think about the land transfer? It's right there in your backyard. Are you okay with that? You can tell me the truth, David.
Well, I've got the city on my other side.
Yeah.
I have a mine on the other side.
Yeah.
No, I welcome it, really.
You think it would be a good thing for the valley?
Yes,
Yeah. I hear you have a son that wants to go into the mining
Well,
business
that's
too.
what he's gonna. He's talked to you.
Yeah.
Or he knows of you. No, yeah.
He said he wants to enroll and
Yeah.
go and study mining now. So.
Be a mining engineer,
you-
I guess.
You've been here a long time. Do you think a lot of young people and people would like to stay here if they had a
You know,
living?
that's the biggest thing here. You know, all the young people have left.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these old ranchers, their kids have gone. You
Yeah.
know, they've found other occupations.
Right.
You know, be an engineer. You know, at least you still take part in the ranch. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what my son wants to do. You know.
Yeah.
If I can hang out that long,
Yeah.
he'd be a part-time rancher.
So yeah, I mean he'd be right there if he
Well, the road.
gets,
Well,
if
your
you
road
give him
will
a
be
little
right
shack
by the-
right there by your house there, you can say, yeah, I'll give you a little spot to live there. So
Or just rent his bedroom out.
and you can raise the rent when he's making some money.
Oh yeah, really?
So anyway, yeah. So you've been following that.
Oh, yes,
And I know you.
It's gonna
I know
help
you
the-
well enough. You would have told me.
It's
if you
going to
had
It's
some
going to help
problem.
the city of
Yeah,
Yerington
yeah.
immensely. Yeah.
What's your? I'm asking everybody. What do they think? What's the general state of the economy and everything in Yerington and Mason Valley in the last 5 years?
Well, it's declined terrible. You know,
Right.
drive up and down Main Street and see
Right.
what the business is going out. you
Right.
know.
We just saw another one today that said they're going out of business,
Uh-huh.
that fashion thing across the street.
Yes, Leslie's right
Yeah,
there, yeah.
and they've been there for a while, right?
Yeah, and then
So-
I guess the one just down the road, the little Lonnie's down here, the chainsaw guy said he's kind of cutting back. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not good times?
not good times. no.
Yeah, so anything that would help the economy
Oh,
would be.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts you can give I mean, the county's trying to find a compromise solution. Do you think that's the course to take, or?
Well, there's probably always room, but,
Yeah.
but what areas do you give up or give and take
Yep.
or whatever?
Yep.
That's just down the road. You kind of have to figure that out and
Yeah.
see what happens.
But do you think it's worth people trying to figure it out?
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Everything, they're asking a bunch. Got to give a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think anything's good for Yarrington.
yeah,
It's, it's a struggling little town. So
Yeah.
it's-
that is true. That's
Uh-huh.
one thing that I know, so. Anyway, well, thanks for coming down here to Silverado,
welcome.
one of your places that you come to, and
Oh, yeah.
this is part of your life is coming here, right?
It's been part of the paycheck.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dan.